LSD was first synthesized by Swiss scientist Albert Hofmann in 1938. He accidentally consumed some and stumbled onto the hallucinogenic that would define a generation some 20 years later. Unlike psilocybin mushrooms and other naturally occurring psychedelics, LSD was synthesized in a lab from ergot, a fungi that attacks rye. It is one of the most powerful hallucinogens available and usually arrives in the form of blotter paper, small squares dipped with LSD. It is also sometimes sold as a liquid, tablet, or a sugar cube. A standard dose of LSD is non-toxic, and preliminary research by Dr. David Nutt suggests that LSD has a good safety profile compared to other psychoactive compounds. Effects are usually felt within 30 to 45 minutes and can stay active for up to 12 hours. In addition to a sense of euphoria, LSD typically causes a change in perception, like visual and auditory hallucinations. Sometimes it can also induce paranoia, negative thoughts, and anxiety. It is said the experience comes down to two factors: set, the seeker's frame of mind prior to the experience, and setting, physical and social environment during the experience. After being banished by the DEA and Nixon declaring war on advocates like Leary, LSD lived with a great stigma. Just recently, studies have begun to emerge, making the case for its benefits in psychotherapy. An important part of this new wave of interest is thanks to functional magnetic resonance imaging. In 2016, researchers from the Imperial College of London used brain scans to observe the brain on LSD, mapping out the brain activities as a person experienced the LSD-induced hallucinations. Normally, the visual cortex of the brain processes information from our eyes. On LSD, multiple parts of the brain were activated and now communicating with each other, suggesting participants were seeing with their eyes shut. Blood receded in the area called the default mode network, the brain's control center. The default mode network is the part of your brain responsible for making current sense of the world based on the memories of the past. It has been described as your inner voice. LSD has diminished the network's governing power, freeing up the other areas of the brain to create new patterns. Certain disorders like addiction and depression are associated with rigid brain patterns that can be difficult to break free from. The study suggests that LSD may have reset the brain, breaking down entrenched thinking and creating space for what researcher Robin Carhart Harris has described as insight and catharsis. A state that could be described as ego dissolution, where we see ourselves in a completely different way. Psychable does not encourage illegal activity, including the illegal sale, purchase, or use of controlled substances. Psychable content is for informational purposes only, and is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay seeking it because of something you've seen in a psychable video. If you are experiencing a health emergency, immediately call 911.